Hey guys, I got with the picks. It is Sunday, early morning, which means it's Super Bowl Sunday. Before we get into that, you could say we've had a pretty nice week. We've had a pretty nice, the past 2 weeks, we've been absolutely killing it. Today made four in a row. You know, our lone hiccup this week was Kansas playing Kansas State, up double digits in the second half and lost. Chalk that one up to the sports book. Today we gave out Washington -4. 12-point winner on the road against Oregon State. I mean, that was writing on the wall to me. It feels good taking house money into Super Bowl, able to play whatever I want to play. It's a good feeling. What we will talk about is we're going to talk about some obviouses because I'm not going to throw out too many statistics, too many numbers. I'm not doing that. This is one game for all the marbles. We've had 2 weeks to prepare for it. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for it. Do I think that they could change their team dynamics on offense and defense completely in 2 weeks? Maybe. San Fran's given two. Totals at 47.5. Let's talk about the obvious. The obvious is San Fran will be able to run the ball against this Kansas City rush defense. They'll be able to run the ball. Kansas City secondary is elite. When I go back and I look at them against wide receiver ones against opposing teams, I'm talking, they shut them down. I mean, Stephon Diggs a couple times, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams. I mean, these guys, they got crumbs when they went up against this secondary. But KC's given up a little over 5 yards a clip on the ground, which can hurt. Especially, you're Joe Tooney's out. If you know football and watch football, you know who Joe Tooney is. I mean, you're talking about an all-pro left guard. You know, they had the backup in last week. He gave up 4 pressures and a sack. And now Joey Bosa and Chase Young come to town. I don't know. Myself, I don't see Pacheco doing what these other people are talking about he's going to do. I just can't see it. Fred Warner, Greenlaw, they have very, very athletic linebackers that are good. I just can't see. 9 out of 10 people that I've watched. Pacheco over yards, Pacheco over attempts. The attempts could happen. The yards, I can't see it. I can't see it at all. How about the San Fran rush defense? Putrid. Giving up 160 yards in the postseason. Come on. Really? Yeah. But San Fran's secondary is strong also. Listen, KC is going to blitz 8 out of 10 plays. We already know that. Brock Purdy is, in regular season, when he's under pressure, he was as good as it got. In the postseason, the 2 games that he's played under pressure is night and day. And you know KC is just going to be sending guys after guys after guys. They're going to. I see Christian McCaffrey. I see him doing big things out of the backfield. Yes, he's going to get his touches. He'll be in the trenches. There's probably a good chance that he scores a touchdown. I'm not saying that he does, but there's probably a good chance that he can. I'm having a hard time getting there with Ayuk and Debo. I'm having a hard time with the wide receivers. I think they're gonna struggle a good bit. I really do. But San Fran, when I look at this game and I break it down, George Kittle should feast. George Kittle should feast. Feast. And I'll be honest with you, on the other side of the ball, Kelsey should feast. He should. I mean, numbers and performances are hard to look away from. And I mean, Kelsey has gone over his total for how many postseason games in a row? I mean, over and over and over and over and over. I mean, he's just as consistent as it comes. I do like Pacheco coming out of the backfield also. That's going to be one of the player props that I do play. It's going to be Pacheco over 17 and a half rushing yards. I will be playing that. I like, and this guy's been cooking too, and I tell you what, and Mahomes needed him. I mean, they needed someone big to step up, and they got it out of Rashee Rice. You know, I was lucky enough to get him on a couple of my fantasy teams, and I tell you what, the second half of the year, that guy was a league winner. A league winner. I really like Rashee Rice over 6.5 catches. Really like it. I think Purdy may struggle passing the ball just because of the different schemes that KC is going to throw at him. Christian McCaffrey's the best running back in football, hands down, bar none. There is no conversation. You can't argue with me. I don't care. I'm not hearing it. CMC is that he's that cheat code. He's that guy. I don't know exactly. Like, I don't have a yardage number that I can put him on. I don't. I'm all over George Kittle in this game. I have George Kittle as an anytime touchdown at plus 175. I took him over 50.5 receiving yards, and I also took him over 3.5 receptions. Now, I also took a Brock Purdy prop. It's probably not the one you're thinking of, though. Brock Purdy over 11.5 rushing yards. These two teams, the total isn't set high enough, first of all. It's not set high enough. It's not. San Fran can come out, to be honest with you, and score on the first 4 or 5 drives. They could. Kansas City could come out and score on the first 4 or 5 drives, and they could. Myself, I think the safest play in this game, the safest, because I do see a lot of holes that can be taken advantage of, and you're talking about two masterminds on the offense. I mean, Shanahan and Reed, I mean, you're talking about masterminds. And they're going to take advantage of that. They are. The safest place here for me is the over 47.5. And the prop plays that I said, which is Pacheco over 17.5 receiving yards, Rashee Rice over 6.5 receptions, Brock Purdy over 11.5 rushing yards, George Kittle over 50.5 receiving yards, George Kittle over 3.5 receptions, and George Kittle anytime touchdown. That's what we're going with. That's what I'm going to be bunching together a bunch of different ways. I'll be wheeling the 47.5 over with a bunch of these other player props. The safest play in this game to me is a sunny fast track in Vegas, and both these offenses absolutely showing out. I think they missed the mark by at least a touchdown in this one. 47.5. I think that number is supposed to scare you. It doesn't scare me at all. It's not high enough, guys. You already know the picks. I just ran them down for you. You already know what I'm going to do until I get back to you. We're going to get back to getting this cash.